Hola. I bet that's Vincy or Jackie. Who's here with me? Hello, hello, hello. Play shy then. There's Miss Vincy. How are you, my darling? Ready for tonight? Eek. Oh, and it starts. And it starts. This is going to be real good. This is my favorite book out of all of them that she's written. And so I'm going to start. And honestly, I don't know where I'm going to finish. I mean, that's where I'm at tonight. I don't have a clue where I'm going to finish them. I'm going to read till I get to a good stopping point. So it could be interesting. So we'll see. There might be some tears tonight. Lots of laughing. Vincy, if you got to pee, go do it now because there's going to be lots of laughing. I mean, I'm going to get tickled like you may never see me tickled. This book absolutely cracks me up. And lots of male voices. I mean, men coming out. There's like 8 characters, and only one of them's going to be female. That I'm maybe 2. Yeah. Yeah. This is This is going to be good. And we got some doming going on. Yeah. Already been warming up these male voices tonight, talking to Nina on the phone. I was talking to her and Mari. I was trying to get them cracking up. And Mari was laughing so hard she was about to pee her pants. And Nina wasn't saying anything. And all of a sudden I said, "Hey, little girl." I said, "Does somebody need a spanking?" And Nina goes, "Me!" So fast. I was like, dang. It was quite funny, I might add. We got some daddy doms going on tonight, girls. My two favorite are in this scene. My man, Derek and Dylan. Oh, yeah. Derek specifically. Oh, honey, you have no idea. We were playing dress up with Mari, and so Mari's playing salon, and she was decorating Nina up. It's a good thing we're not on camera right now, because I have a feeling Nina might look a little bit like a clown. And I was playing the pain in the ass customer. But yeah, I got some good doms going on tonight. Matter of fact, I need to kind of write these down and see how many I do got going. I got 16,000. That don't want to work. 16,000 notepads, and I can't find any of them. All right, we got Nick, which is not a dom, except occasionally to Sierra Rose. Sienna Rose. We got Colin, Hawk, Derek, Dylan, Hunt, I figured she's probably made you a hot mess. Alrighty, is that all we got? It's just 3 onions? I was trying to see. Okay, so Hunt is the cowboy. I can put a little twang in that one. It might be an exaggerated twang, but alrighty. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men, but I think there's more. I'm pretty sure I'm missing somebody. Okay, so let's get started. For those that come later. All right. This is by one of my favorite authors. Her name is Ramie Wolf, and she wrote these 3 books. This one we've already read. It's called Knights of Sin. This is a Legion of Sin series. This is called Knights of Sin, and that is Sierra Rose. And then this one is called Wages of Sin. This is the second book. Tonight we're reading the 3rd book, which is my favorite out of the series. And it is called Eternity of Sin. And I'm just going to tell you now, that book will take you all over the place, okay? These are all to be found on Amazon. I think they're like $15 for the 3 of them, something like that. Well worth it. I mean, you guys have never read books this good before, okay? I'm just going to tell you. So, a little catching up, a real short catching up. The biggest thing going on here is Nick, who is married, who is mated married to Sienna Rose, or there's Sienna Rose, and she is the heart of this little flower, and her little petals are made of Sin, who's the main alpha, Ryan, who is the second alpha, Nick, who is mostly sub, and then her two little youngins, Lily and Seth. Okay. Nick found out that he's got a brain tumor, I believe. Anyways, his brain's messed up and he's dying. And so he ran off. He decided he would run away. Then he decided to come back. He was going to run away, die. Decided to come back. And we're where he comes back at. Okay. So he's in Las Vegas. Now, the other characters that I'm going to be reading tonight, these are characters, if you read the other two books, if you read all three books, all these characters make sense, but they're the outside characters. So they are being all brought up because she's getting them ready for their books. But these outside characters are all playing a part. And oh my gosh, I just love this. I just love this cast. Okay. Okay, so he says, fuck, I need to get home, make things right, fight like a motherfucker for my mates and children and our future. I'm not ready to see them yet, but I need to be there. Need to be close and figure out how the hell I'm going to pull off this last minute Hail Mary. Waving at Emma as I take off without a word, I race through the terminal and slam out the doors into the desert sun. My fingers already scrolling to pull up the contact in my phone. Now, please pardon me, there's like at least 6 male voices tonight. I may sound like I may do some of them twice for 2 different guys, so my apologies ahead of time. Scrolling to pull up the contact in my phone, waiting impatiently as it rings, I hail a cab to get me over to the car rental place. Hello? At the voice answering on the other end, I choke. Hello? Hey, Derek. Nick? Holy shit, where have you been? Derek burst out. The sound of the man shouting for Dylan is deafening. Fucker would have made a hell of a drill sergeant. Where are you? We'll come get you. I grip at the nape of my neck, my muscles tight. No, don't worry about that. My plane just got in and I'm on my way to pick up a rental. A cab pulls up and I grab the handle. Listen, I need a favor. Anything, man. I need somewhere to stay just for a week or two. Derek's confusion is palpable. Over the phone. Nick, you have a home. And I have to tell you, I'm pretty fucking pissed about you disappearing like you did. What happened? I rolled my eyes at the emergence of the Dom and sink into the cab's back seat. A long story that I'll have to explain later. Now can I or not? Fuck, he mutters softly. Of course you can, you dumb son of a bitch, but you better be ready to fucking talk. Dylan's not happy with you either. Wouldn't want to break my streak, would I? I shout back sarcastically. Look, I have my reasons. Silence greets me for a minute, and then he grunts. Get your ass home, Nick. We'll be waiting. I'll be there in a couple of hours. All right, see you soon. Don't tell him. I plead, not yet. Shit, Nick, what have you gotten yourself into? Please, Derek, you'll understand what I explain. All right, fine. I won't tell them. He promised, at least for now. Thanks, man. I'll see you soon. You better, sweet cheeks. Oh, and you better be ready for Colin to rip you a new ass, too, Derek growls before cutting the call. A snort of laughter escapes me. Yeah, I'm in for it now. If Derek's calling me sweet cheeks, all hell is about to rain down on me. When the last part of his statement sinks in, I groan. Well, shit. Daddy Colin, like his cousin Sin, really isn't a nice man when he's pissed. Between him and Derek, I'll be lucky to still have my dignity by the end of the day. I shake my head. Yeah, I'm about to get my ass handed to me. But that's okay. It really is. Because I'm going home. And one way or another, I'm getting my family back. Even if it means they'll ultimately have to watch me die. All right, now then, that was the setup. All right, here we go. Vodka. Check. Sandstone, Nevada. Colin and Derek are going to have the same voice because they're both top daddy doms. So I just like that really deep voice for a daddy dom. Don't you guys? Come and get it, sister. I'll even do my Barry White voice for you, sister. Yeah, let's bring it on. All right, so let me get this straight. I growl furiously. Nick snaps to attention and flinches at his ingrained response to a dom berating his bratty behavior. Derek grins sardonically, as pissed as I am. Damn, why can't I have both of them? First, you say nothing about the fucking headaches. Then you decide to see a specialist and don't say a fucking word to anyone about that either. Finally, you run away like a coward to hide and fucking die alone. Have I fucking missed anything? Yes, I tend to use the word fuck liberally like salt when I'm rip shit furious. One of my many failings, I'm sure. And if ever a situation called for excessive use of the F-bomb, this is it. Nick squirms. Nope. That pretty much covers it. Hunt rolls his eyes. Oh, duh. Just dawned on me. I was counting Hawk and Nick as two different people. Duh. I'm not used to them calling them Hawk. Not in this kind of scene. You're an idiot, Hawk. You know that, he snorts. Watching me warily, Nick shrugs. And you don't think for one motherfucking second a lot of people might have a problem with that? You need your ass beat, boy, I growl ominously. Oh yeah, I'm on a motherfucking roll now. I can feel my face and neck mottling purple, the veins in my neck pulsing. I'm sure Nick feels like a recalcitrant. I don't know how to say that word. Child being scolded. Oh yeah, by the way, Ramie is very, very, very smart, and she likes to write with big words. And you'll see a word and you know what it means, but you don't ever speak it. You know what it is when you see it, but you don't know how to speak it. So there might be more than a few words like that in here. It's just not everyday words, but it makes for good reading silently. Child being scolded, and I hope to fuck it's unpleasant as hell. He's a grown-ass man in his 40s, yet may as well be all of 10 with the way he's acted. Opening his mouth to no doubt get himself into some deep shit, his jaw snaps loudly shut at the glare Derek shoots him. Damn right, sweet cheeks, time to be a good boy. He chuckles mirthlessly. You don't need to go digging that hole any deeper. Nick's face turns red with fury or shame. Either one works for me. I hope to God he's feeling lower than shit. I thought it was the best way, he finally says, peering at me. He shrugs. Would you let Hunt and Autumn watch you die? Oh, so he wants to play like that, huh? Ignoring Hunt's confused expression, I snap. I sure as hell wouldn't take that choice away from them. Ouch, Nick says ruefully, rubbing at his chest. Low blow. Hold up, O'Malley, Hunt growls, recoiling when I scowl at him. Shut the fuck up, cowboy. Looking startled, he stares at me blankly. He can play dumb all he wants, but I know the stubborn son of a bitch hurt me. I clench my fist in aggravation when he looks away, deliberately ignoring me. Okay, then. Any patience I still had left, gone. Kaput, sayonara. I'm done tiptoeing. There's a new word for you. I'm done tiptoeing around him. There's a reckoning coming, and it's one I hope to fuck he's ready for. Derek's eyes are twinkling a little, and I have to resist the urge to deck the son of a bitch. Give the man time, he told me. Don't force him to confront what he is. Ease him into our world gently. Sure, right, whatever you say. I should have just fucking kidnapped Hunt and Autumn both when I met them. One look into their eyes and I knew they were mine, even Autumn, hard as it was for me to believe. I also knew there was no lovers to contest my claim. I should have just tied them up, hijacked them to Ireland, and locked them up in my family estate. Maybe I wouldn't be so bloody insane right now without my twin around to rein me in. I get it. I fucked up, Nick says quietly. I came home to make things right, but you realize you made the wrong choice, Dylan cuts in quietly. No, I realized I'm a coward. I don't want to die without them, even if it's the best thing for them. Oh, for fuck's sake, I snarl. Hunt's right. You're an idiot. You belong here, Nick. Running away was the stupidest fucking thing you could have done. They can help you fight this. They've been through enough shit, Colin. I don't want to add more to the heap. And you've been through the exact same shit, Derek points out. Not to mention you're the one fighting for his life. Just because you're a masochist doesn't mean you get to hog all the misery, drama queen. Nick has the audacity to look offended. Drama queen? That's below the belt, don't you think? What else would you call it? Hunt scoffs, warming up to the Inquisition. I'm fucking dying, Nick yells, throwing his head up his hands. How is that being a drama queen? Rising to his feet slowly, Hunt stands at his full height with his feet shoulder width apart. I damn near nut in my jeans when his muscular arms cross sternly over an equally muscular chest. Here, let me pull my muscles up here, y'all, so you can see them. And sparks start shooting in his hypnotic sapphire eyes. Jesus Christ, that commanding presence is doing some crazy, perplexing things to me. I've never bottomed in my life, never even considered the idea, but for this man, I'm pretty sure I'll be begging to have a go. Are you dead yet? Hunt barks thunderously. Oh, yeah, begging. Nick looks like he's either about to shit his pants or launch himself at Hunt. Stepping close, just in case it's the latter, I'm surprised when he straightens out of his slouch and firms his shoulders. No, he says quietly. What was that? Hunt's eyes narrow. I can't fucking hear you. Hell no. Have you suddenly lost your balls? Fuck you. All right then, Sally, hitch up those nuts. It's time to lock and load. Nick finally doubles over laughing, and I watch in confusion as Derek and Dylan follow suit. Hunt's trying like hell to remain stone-faced, but even he's growing crimson from lack of air. Shaking my head, I walk over to the chair by his and sink down. Just give it up, I mutter to myself. You can't reason with children, O'Malley. You know this. Hunt starts hooting loudly, sounding a little like a brain donkey. Strangely enough, the obnoxious sound is endearing as hell. Closing my eyes with a smile, I lean back and wait for a full 10 seconds. I have to ask, Sally? Snorting at the question, Nick throws Dylan an amused glare. Blame him. Dylan shrugs and leans back, draping his arms along the back of the couch. James caught him searching for seashells one night on the beach, he tells me, smiling at Nick's sheepish flush. Apparently he had a small basket with him, but the few shells he had were cracked or actually broken. When James asked about it, Nick told him he wanted the defective ones, the ones that would be ground into dust if he didn't pick them, because no one wanted imperfect shells. He was saving them. I looked at Nick, seeing him in an entirely different light. You have a poet's soul. I'm surprised I've never seen it before. Derek chuckles. Oh, don't feel too bad, Colin. You've seen it, trust me. Nick's just subtle as fuck. Rolling his eyes, Nick flips us both off. Looking at us each in turn, Dylan smiles at the memory. I ended up saddling the entire Legion with crazy, stupid, not so macho nicknames, and Silly Sally seemed appropriate for Nick. The entire Legion, huh? I gotta admit, it keeps me wondering. I grin at Hunt, who's eyeballing Dylan suspiciously. I can't wait to hear what yours is, cowboy, I comment. Sure thing, he agrees loudly, just as soon as I find a man I'm sexually attracted to. Ooh, ouch. Someone's feeling their frustration where it counts. Licking my lips slowly, I let my eyes drift up and down his body greedily. The man is huge all over, just like me. My lovers are usually a lot shorter and a little lighter than me. Almost delicate. I can just imagine the power plays between us. My eyes continue their inspection, taking in the tattooed torso and arms, the jeans hugging his ass and legs like a lover. They drift between his legs and my attention stalls. I stare with adoration. Well, well, would you look at that thing of beauty? Tearing my gaze from the outline of one huge erection, I grin at Hunt. He frowns back, and it's all I can do to not snicker. He can keep fighting me all he wants, deny me all he likes, but I know the truth. I know that dirty little secret he thinks he's so cleverly hiding. All you have to do is ask, Hunt, I said quietly for his ears only. I'll make you feel things you never thought possible. Jaw dropping in shock, he stares at me wildly, something dark and beautifully wicked awakening in the depths of his eyes, something I've waited far too long to see. He may not understand it yet, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't like it, but Hunter Jordan wants me, and he's more than just a little in love with me. He's going to be one hell of an adversary, too. The fact that I've never bottomed before isn't going to make any difference to save my ass. I won't have a choice with him. If I want any chance of building a life with him, I'm going to have to submit sometimes, too, when I never have or wanted to before. Hunt's an alpha man, and I honestly can't see him ever becoming a daddy's boy. Nope, but you can have a daddy's girl. At Nick's quiet words, I sighed. The shit between me and Autumn is off limits. It's a whole other fucked up can of worms I have no intention of opening right now. One challenge at a time, please. Autumn is, Nina, correct me. Autumn is Nick's sister. Yeah, I've read these books. It's just been a year and a half since I read them. Correct, Nina? Autumn is Nick's sister. One challenge at a time. Too young in the conversation. You're an idiot if you think age is an excuse with people like us. Gritting my teeth, I ignore the wisdom in his words, redirecting the inquisition his way. I toss him my cell phone. You need to call them, Nick. Staring at the device in his hands like it's a live grenade, he shakes his head and sets it down on the coffee table in front of me. I can't. Not yet, he whispers. I need a little time. There are still a lot of calls I have to make and details to figure out. Searching his eyes, I nod briskly. All right, but soon. Seriously, Nick, you can't do this without them. I'm not sure why you even tried. Smiling sadly, he says, because I'm the biggest fucking fool alive. Chapter 16, The Desert Rose. July 25th, Sienna. If I have to keep staring at the steak on my plate, I'm going to throw up all over the place. Stretching my neck slowly, I wince when something pops, relieving the strain. As the tension eases in my back, it immediately migrates to my skull, inciting a killer migraine. Just beautiful. Evidently, I needed another challenge. Across the table from me, Autumn is feeding Lily, taking bites of her own food periodically. Seth is camped out on her other side, eating quietly and resembling a well behaved little boy, and not the holy terror I know him to really be. You could say I'm a little suspicious. Seth inherited every bit of Sin's arrogance and then some. Him eventually acting out is the last thing I need right now. Glancing up at me furtively, Autumn tries her best to smile encouragingly. It's really more of a grimace. You're only making it worse, you know. You need to tell them, sis. At her gentle censoring, I frown. Don't preach to me about honesty, I snap back. How about you handle your stampeding herd of elephants and I'll handle mine? I'm surprised when Autumn grins instead of taking offense. I'm pretty sure that time is coming. Besides, my stampeding herd of elephants is nowhere near as large as yours. I feel my nose crinkle in disgust. Damn her, she's right. Lily looks up at me with a strained peas grin on her face. I give her an answering smile, inanely wondering how my sweet baby can love that crap. Turning to Seth, I watch as he starts to push his food around. Frowning, I shake my head. There's the warning shot across the bow I've been waiting for. Seth, please stop playing with your food, I said firmly. You need to eat. Rolling his eyes at my command. Okay, so he's a lot like me, too. Seth flushes at the look of reprimand Ryan gives him. I know the feeling well. As a child, all it would take was one of those looks, and I would shut right up, too. Autumn hides her grin as Seth squirms and sinks lower in his seat to eat silently. Satisfied he'll behave for the moment, I glance down at my plate and almost blow wicked chunks. Oh, God, this can't be happening. Not now. Sin and Ryan can't find out, no matter what Autumn thinks. Once they realize I didn't catch the flu over in Europe, that I'm pregnancy sick, the shit's gonna hit the fan so damn fast there won't be any safe zone from the fallout. Because of my duplicity, I'm caught in a no-win fuck up of epic stupidity. Go me. Staring down at my plate, I flinched. That vision. It should have terrified me, given what I've gone through in the past. Instead of it made me deliriously giddy. Finally, Nick could have his miracle. Something in me awoke, calling forth a deeply buried instinct that promised all would be well. So I set aside my misgivings and stopped taking the pill without consulting my husband's. That's on me. I wish I could say I regret my rash decision, but I'd be lying. Closing my eyes, I hunch lower in my chair. Sin and Ryan have warned me repeatedly against getting pregnant again, always asking if I've taken my birth control. Neither of them can stand the thought of me suffering through childbirth, or worse, losing the baby or my life. I understand their fear. I really do. I'm terrified too. What's always pissed me off is their autocratic refusal to even discuss the matter. Sin's the evil mastermind behind it all, and Ryan's his obedient disciple. Both are hard-headed and too mule stubborn to listen to any of my arguments. Really, until Nick left us, it's been the only wrinkle in the last 2 years. It isn't like Ryan can knock me up. He got snipped 20 years ago, not wanting to pass on his father's psychotic genetics to a child. And as much as it hurts, I can respect his decision. Sin's a whole other story. His kung fu is strong, and I'll be damned if it doesn't make my ovaries quiver. That man could probably get me pregnant simply by looking at me during the wrong time of the month. I almost giggled, clamping my lips shut tight against it. Autumn narrows her eyes in disapproval at me. There's nothing remotely funny about any of this, is there? Are we really so horrible that life constantly has to throw the worst it has to offer at us? When will it stop slinging curveballs and just lob one down the middle of the plate nice and easy? Yes, my decision was a calculated risk. Now I'm left not only without a husband, but also the father of the child I carry in my belly. You stupid, reckless idiot. I've always been my own worst critic, and with good reason. I stare down at my steak, baked potato, and corn. Oh, hell. My back molars clench obstinately, sweating beads my cheeks and chest with hot, clammy moisture. Sweat beating my cheeks and chest with hot, clammy moisture. Nausea churns like acid in my belly. Stabbing my knife into the medium rare meat resolutely, I pop a small morsel into my mouth and slowly chew. Almost instantly, I begin to gag. Clamping a palm firmly to my lips, I bow my head and pray that Sin and Ryan don't look up and catch me seconds from puking. Seth stares at me, his eyes wide. Shaking my head, I press a finger to my lips. Shh, baby. Mama's okay. Just keep eating. A lot of these whispers that I'm doing, they telepath. They talk to each other in their heads. So they're telepathic. There we go. And so, like, shh, baby, mama's okay. Just keep eating. And then the conversation between her and Autumn's been telepathic. Autumn bites into her little lip. You better hope they aren't listening. I barely repress a flinch at her quiet warning. Blinking rapidly, Seth shoots a nervous glance at his father's and nods. Lowering his head, he pretends to eat, though his eyes never leave me. I want to smile. My sweet baby, already so protective. Seth is every inch his father's son. Curling my toes into the plush carpet, I focus on the weave and texture. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep breathing. Don't puke. Yeah, right. Retching mutely, I close my eyes and spit the fatty meat in my napkin. I set it to the side gingerly, wishing Nick was here, that he hadn't abandoned me. He would know what to do, what to say. Why am I even bothering with subterfuge? I wonder sadly, when soon enough, Sin and Ryan will both start to notice the changes happening in my body. The sound of a knife clattering sharply against the plate startles me. Looking up, I find myself ensnared by a pair of deep, piercing amethyst eyes glowering furiously at me, ebony brows drawn low. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Autumn, please take the children upstairs. Ryan's voice is calm, measured. It makes me itchy. That tone is never a sign of anything good for me. Autumn, I whine softly, squirming at the silence surrounding me. Standing slowly, she narrows her eyes on Sin and Ryan. Sin glares back, and I can't help but admire the courage or stupidity it takes for her to hold his stare. He's one wrong word away from an eruption that would make Yellowstone look like a wet fart, yet she seems serene. Hell, even I tend to stay out of his way when he's like this. Now, Autumn, he says quietly. Rolling her eyes, she picks Lily up first, then takes Seth's hand. Together they walk around the table to my side, bypassing Sin and Ryan. Both of my children hug me at the same time, surely feeling the tension in the air. Seth holds on a bit longer than usual, squeezing my neck. I hug him back fiercely. I love you, Mommy, he says, pulling back. Startling wisdom glows in those gorgeous black eyes. Oh, baby, Mommy loves you too. Now go with Aunt Autumn, okay? Nodding obediently, he releases my neck. Conscious of the storm about to erupt, Autumn tugs Seth away and walks with him and Lily to the dining room door. Looking over her shoulder, she shoots Sin and Ryan a look of disgust. Don't you dare make her cry. Ryan's jaw clenches, his eyelids flinching. Go, damn it, he barks, slamming a fist. Hold on. Go, damn it, he barks, slamming a fist on the table. Autumn's eyes widen. So do the children's. Hell, so do mine. The pain on Ryan's face is disturbing as her words likely replay over cruelly in his mind. Nick always used to warn them against making me cry, too. I don't know if I should applaud her audacity or be appalled by it. Once Autumn and our children are safely out of earshot, Sin turns to me and calmly, quietly asks, "So, you want to tell us what that was all about, or would you prefer we speculate?" Shaking my head, I stare down at the plate. Want to tell them? And incite a fucking war? Ha! Not in this lifetime. I think I'll let them figure it out on their own. Next to me, Ryan smiles grimly. Son of a bitch, he growls under his breath. I knew it. Please don't be angry, I say miserably. I had to. You're fucking pregnant. The statement is flat, devoid of emotion. Oops. You're fucking pregnant. The statement is flat, devoid of emotion. Despite expecting the words, I wince. Nodding, I smooth my hand across the lace-trimmed tablecloth. Yes, Daddy, I am. Inhaling raggedly, Sin scrubs his palms down his face. For those that don't know, Sin is technically not her father. He is her daddy, though. Her daddy Dom. And she's called him daddy since the first time they fucked. So we'll just go with that. Yes, Daddy, I am. Inhaling raggedly, Sin scrubs his palms down his face, the brackets grooving his mouth suddenly more pronounced. How? Sienna rose. Unable to speak, I shake my head and continue to stare at the plate in front of me. How did it happen, kitten? How did it happen, kitten? Ryan insists furiously. You're on the fucking pill. The pill isn't foolproof, I whisper. And besides that, well, I stopped taking it. You knew! Sin explodes. You fucking knew this would happen. I nod jerkily. Yes. God damn you, Sienna Rose. How could you? How the fuck did I not realize it? Before I can answer, Ryan sighs heavily. How far along? About 9 weeks. A helpless laugh escapes Sin. You really have no fucking respect for us. That's not fair, I cried, feeling my temper rising. You know I wanted another baby. So you lie and sneak around behind our backs to get it, Ryan snaps. Considering that neither of you will listen to reason, yes. I can't watch you die too, Sin roars. I have a hard time getting deep when he's roaring. Slamming forward in his chair, my body jerks back instinctively, as if fleeing his anger. I'm not strong enough to lose you, Sienna Rose, especially now that Nick's gone. I can't fucking lose you too. You won't lose me. Seth was difficult, yes, but I'm fine. Lily was a breeze. Ryan pushes his plate away with a glare. You know how we feel, Sienna. You should have said something and given Sin a chance to grab a condom. This wasn't your choice to make. Here it is, the moment of truth. I want to puke, but instead say softly, yes, Ryan, it was. The baby isn't Daddy's. My husband stares at me in horror. Sighing heavily, I shake my head. I haven't cheated on you. Come on, you both know me better than that. Do we? Snan snarls. Jesus Christ, Sienna Rose, you're sitting there telling us the fucking baby in your belly isn't mine. Ron's been cut. So what the fuck are we supposed to think? The baby's Nick's. Ryan's point of view. Sin's head snaps back at her confusion. My heart grinds to a dead fucking stop inside my chest. Nick's sterile, I choke out hoarsely. Sienna smiles slightly. Not the night before his birthday. Oh my fucking God, Sin breathes. A million emotions bombard me as I stare blindly at the woman sitting between us. We've loved her for so long. Sienna's all we've ever truly wanted for ourselves, with the exception of each other and Nick. After Seth, then the depression that almost ended up claiming her and Lily's lives, Sim was brutally upfront about the matter, and I adamantly agreed. After our son and daughter, more children were out of the question. Only now, Sienna's gone behind our backs and stopped taking the goddamn pill. And Nick, after years of pain at the thought that he couldn't give her a baby, is going to be a father. Now when he's dying, God damn it, what are we supposed to do? First I lose Nick. Will I lose Sienna next, or Sin? One by one, until I'm once again as alone as I was after my mother's death. I glance at Sin, not surprised in the least by his reaction. He looks pale as death and ready to puke. This is a huge fucking surprise we weren't prepared for. Christ, Sienna's going to have another child. Nick's child. I'd give anything for the courage to allow her to bring this miracle into the world, but I just can't. Too much is at stake, and too many fucking things go horribly wrong. I've only just begun to breathe again, to process the empty corner of my heart Nick left behind. We can't save him if he doesn't want to be saved, but we can save Sienna. We have to do something about this, even if it ends up finally destroying the man we love. Sin's point of view. Whew. Carefully, every cell in my body screaming in physical agony, I shift back in my chair. Peace, I've come to find, is an illusion, a commodity that's not easily acquired. I thought maybe we had finally gotten our wife to the point where she trusted us, where she didn't feel she had to lie to us. We're barely staying afloat instead, desperately treading the waters of pain and loneliness since Nick left us. And now this. I stare at Sienna Rose, suddenly adrift in my own uncertainty. Can we allow her to have this baby? Can we once again face the possibility of something going horrifically wrong? It will mean entrusting everything we live for into one roll of the dice. My wife is my whole world, the one person on this earth aside from Nick and Ryan who knows and accepts who I truly am, who loves me despite everything. I have no secrets from her. I've already lost Nick, though he still breathes. I can't lose our wife too. Sienna Rose is my soul, and as much as I want to love Nick's child, I'm deathly afraid I'll resent the threat it presents to her instead, and by default, resent Nick himself. Markedly subdued, Ryan toys with his knife. What do you intend on doing with the baby? Surprise flickers in her eyes. Why would you even ask me that? Terminate the pregnancy, Sienna Rose, immediately. What? Wincing at her explosion, I stare blankly at the tabletop. Ryan makes a choked noise. Fuck, did I really just say such a horrific thing to her? As disgusted with myself as I am, I can't take it back. I can't let her have this baby, no matter how badly I want to. Shaking her head violently, Sierra Rose clutches at her belly. You can't be serious, Daddy, she whispers hoarsely. I can't believe you would actually do that to me or Nick. I'm dead serious. I sigh heavily. Get rid of it before he somehow finds out. But why? Throwing Ryan a panicked look, she whispers, Is that how you feel too? He grimaces bitterly. You're not thinking this through, he says, avoiding answering. What happens if something goes wrong? She looks startled. But No, kitten, enough. I know you're angry, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm with Sin on this. It's time to grow up, Sienna Rose. I lecture her sternly. It's been hard enough the last 2 years. You're all wonderful fathers. I give a short, bitter laugh. Is that what she really thinks? Jesus, girl, wake the hell up. We're all just a few steps away from a straitjacket. We're the last men who should be allowed to be fathers. Oh, Daddy, you're the only man I want. Staring at her in shock, I feel something inside me crumble. No, goddammit, this isn't happening. I gave in to her pleading once before, and look what happened. I can't live the fucking nightmare again. I don't want you to have this baby. I'd give you anything in the world, you know that, but right now, this isn't it. Have an abortion, Sienna Rose, please, before you break Nick's heart. If anyone breaks Nick's heart, Daddy, it will be you. My face drains of blood, leaving me shaken. Fuck, I will. It's unavoidable. She stares at us sadly, and I watch as hand, I watch her splayed hand caress the swell of her tummy. She sighs, then pushes her chair back silently and rises to her feet. I'll be gone within the hour. My heart skips a beat, dread inundating me. As she calmly turns to walk away, a savage roar erupts from Ryan. In a whirl of motion, he shoots out of his chair and vaults the table. He catches up to her at the door, his hand closing over her arm and jerking her back. You're not fucking leaving! He snarls in her face. This isn't happening again, Sienna. Not a flicker of emotion betrays her thoughts. Yes, Ryan, I am, and you can't stop me. Oh, kitten, if you honestly believe that, you're living in a fantasy, Ryan says evilly. Don't threaten me, she snaps. You've both made your feelings clear. Why would I stay? Taking a deep breath, she shakes her head sadly. I knew you'd be angry, but I never expected such cruelty. Cruelty? I snarl, outraged over her willful disregard for her feelings. How is loving you so much we'd never survive losing you a cruelty? Sienna Rose stares at me blankly, her eyes filled with so much pain it physically hurts. You're asking me to kill Nick's child. I won't do it, Daddy. Where the fuck do you plan on going? I growl on the attack. I'm not fucking backing down on this. If it's a war our wife wants, so be it. What about Seth and Lily? You're really going to leave them, Sienna Rose? Because I'll be damned if you're taking our children. I'd never take your children from you, Daddy, but I have to find Nick. He needs to know. Ryan's eyes widen furiously. Don't you dare. I swear, kitten, if you tell Nick. Sienna Rose hisses, fury igniting her eyes. He rears away, surprise coloring his face. What? You'll beat me? Maybe punish me for being a naughty little girl? Jesus, Sienna, of course not, he spits back. Damn you both. Nick's my husband, too. Regardless of whatever bullshit is going on between the three of you, he'll be there for me. Can either of you say the same? Damn. Ouch. The woman knows how to go for the throat. I rake a hand through my hair in agitation. You're asking for trouble, baby girl. Nick can't help you. He can't even help himself right now. Apparently, trouble is the only fucking thing I'm good at. Why do you think he left? I snap before I can stop myself. Ryan's eyes shoot to mine and he shakes his head jerkily. I ignore the subtle warning. No, damn it. It's time she wakes the fuck up to the shitstorm our life has become. I don't know, she cries, because neither of you will tell me. Nick's dying, Sienna Rose. I check out bitterly. He has a brain tumor. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, let's go back to the boys. Whew. We got time. Anybody in a hurry? Chapter 17, Nick. God damn it! They're fucking everything up, I growl, staring blankly at the phone in my hand. Cocking a brow curiously, Derek glances up from where he's cuddling Dylan on the sofa, the latter dressed in nothing more than a pair of shorts. I roll my eyes. Derek's obsessed with Dylan's exceptionally well-defined pectoral muscles, and he never fails to show him just how much. And if there's witnesses, even better, which is why I love those two. I got some pectoral muscles he needs to obsess with. What did they do now, bro? Dylan asked quietly, growling when Derek's hand snakes low on his chest, tugging at the jewelry in his navel. Damn it, Derek. Quit distracting me. A warning growl echoes in Derek's throat, silencing him as nothing else can. Care to repeat that? Sighing heavily, Dylan slumps. Fuck, not really. That's what I thought. Watching with equal parts reluctance and fascination, Hunt shifts in his chair and snaps out the paper in his hands. Slumped low, he's subtly trying to hide his erection and shame behind the open pages. Camped out in the chair next to him, Colin's covertly eye-fucking him in that way that reminds me of Sin, his emerald eyes filled with lurid intent. Seriously, I'm going to laugh. They're both so obvious, I don't need my powers to read the writing on the wall. Evidently, Colin's battle plan is working, I'll bet, at a snail's pace. Hunt probably doesn't even realize it, but he's down close to throwing out the flag. Now, if only Autumn would get on board with the merger. Rolling my eyes at the thought, I start pacing the room anxiously. It's all I can do to ignore the subtle signs of Derek getting ready to take Dylan back to bed, to avoid feeling the explosive tension between Colin and Hunt. It won't be long before I'm frantic for that connection again. Hell, who am I kidding? I've been in a perpetual state of longing from the moment I left my husband and wife. Not that it really matters at this point. If I thought sticking a gun in my mouth would spare them the pain of my sickness and passing, I'd have done it weeks ago, flinching tiredly at the migraine pounding behind my eyes. I damn the tumor in my brain at the blackest pits of hell. Sin and Ryan tried reasoning with me, cajoling me. They bullied the shit out of me and even fucked me raw, all in an effort to make me stay, to let them share the few remaining months I have before the fucking tumor wipes out my existence. They begged me to fight, to submit to treatment, and go to war on the foreign infestation, to be brave and hold on for them in Sienna, for our children. Nothing they did or said changed my mind, and all I asked for them was two things. One, that they not tell her, not until I was gone, and she could mourn in peace rather than fight to keep me alive. And two, that they wouldn't do something stupid when I was gone, like killing themselves to be with me. I've lived in darkness for the last 2 months, shut off from everything and craving their touch, and now Sienna's on her way to me. At the thought, I exhale with uncomfortable relief. My beautiful doll. Sin and Ryan must have finally told her. Does she think she can persevere where I've given up? How has anything fallen apart so completely? How has everything fallen apart so completely? I don't know anything yet. I answer, rubbing my palms on the seat of my jeans. Sienna's on her way here, though. Can she stay for a few days? I guess she left Sin and Ryan, too. Derek's look is sad. Fuck, Nick. That's what you meant? I know. Of course she can stay here. That girl's family, same as you. And you need her, no matter how much of a hard ass you think you are. Completely broken inside, I shrug. Yeah, I can't deny it at all. I won't package up my raging anger in a pretty bow, but the truth is, I do need her. I need Sin and Ron. Too often I catch myself second-guessing my choices, and I have to wonder if I should have stayed and fought. Maybe done things differently. It might already be too late. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Fuck, in the end, it doesn't really matter, does it? If they've made her or Autumn cry, I won't be happy. Hunt growls from behind the paper. I wanted to grin and do a little. More than a little infatuated with Sienna and 1,000% in love with Autumn. He's as big as I am at 6'5" and isn't a man anyone really wants to fuck with, including Sin. The same could have been said for me in another life. I sigh. Neither will I. On the heels of that statement, the doorbell rings. I jump in surprise, the action immediately sending shards of pain through my skull. Shit, has it been 15 minutes already? My heart racing crazily, I walk to the door quickly and jerk it open. My eyes narrow when I find Sienna standing deathly still on the front step, empty-handed and tears streaking her cheeks. Next to her, Autumn is staring beyond her my shoulder intently. Oh, fuck. This is bad. They didn't even bring Seth and Lily. Son of a bitch, I said low. Do I need to kill them? I'm so angry with you, Sienna Rose whispers. You lied to me, Nick. Unable to say anything more, she glares up at me defiantly. Without a word, I open my arms and she rushes me, burying her face in my chest. I'm sorry, I murmur into her hair. I'm so fucking sorry. I was a coward. You told me you wouldn't leave me. Wincing, I exhale a sad laugh. No, doll. I told you I would try not to. Oh, Nick, I missed you, she sobs, clutching me tightly. You're never leaving me again. Hush, doll, I soothe quietly. I missed you too. The nights are damn long without you. A rough growl explodes from my depths. Then she jerks on my hair and forces my mouth to hers. Taken over roughly, I wrap her up in my arms, lifting her off her feet. I wasn't lying when I said I missed her. If anything, I underplayed how much. Nothing tastes as wild, quiet, or quite as sinful and delicious as my precious wife. This is a taste, a memory I have to remember if things go south and I have to wait for my mates to join me on the other side. Coming up for air, I stare over the top of her head to Autumn, who's desperately avoiding looking into the house now. Fucking shit. This is the last thing any of us need. Her anxiety is a tangible thing, and she can't repress a wince when we hear a foul expletive erupt from Colin. Autumn, he growls, coming up behind me. Jesus, Wildcat, are you okay? Nodding jerkily, she gives him a faint, blank smile and looks away. Frowning, Colin doesn't look like he believes her, but keeps silent. Poor bastard. He and Hunt are going to have one fuck of an uphill battle convincing Autumn that not all men are abusive pigs. Wrinkling her nose, Autumn throws me a disgruntled look. You, Sin, and Ryan already showed me that. Almost laugh out loud at her smart-ass observation. Touche. Lower my head. I kissed the crown of Sienna's head. What happened, doll? Pulling back, she starts to answer, only to fall nervously silent when Derek walks over to us. Fidgeting in my arms, she looks up at him and frowns sadly. I've never apologized, have I? Derek's expression is stern, but the sympathy gleaming in his gray eyes is evident. No, honey, you've never apologized, he says quietly, but there's never been anything to apologize for. There's so much to apologize for, Derek, and you know it, Santa sighs ruefully. I'm sorry. I was such a raging cunt. Looking like he's a breath away from uncontrollable hysterics, Derek returns her smile and swings his gaze curiously to Autumn, who's subtly trying to inch away without anyone noticing. Colin growls under his breath and reaches out, latching onto her wrist firmly. You just stay right there, Wildcat. He hisses, grinning when she freezes obediently. Technically, he has kind of like an Irish brogue, but yeah, we already know I can't do that. Well, now, isn't that intriguing? The crimson flush of disgust exploding across her face really sets off the new blue of her hair and eyes to perfection. I think with an inner snicker, Autumn is as headstrong and stubborn as Sienna is, and the irritated scowl of scrunching up her face tells me she had no intention of sticking around without a direct order from Daddy. Things are starting to become oh so clear now. I can't help but smirk with real humor at Colin. Good luck, buddy. You'll need it. Colin shoots me a droll grimace as Autumn curls her lip. Jerks. I feel Sienna shut down, retreating into herself. Autumn climbs up after her snide shot, and Colin just keeps growling like a pissed off grizzly. Derek looks amused by it all, staring back and forth between us. So glad to see someone's finding some humor in this fucked up Shakespearean tragedy. Not. Grabbing Sienna's hand in mine, I pull her into the house. Hunt and Dylan throw me curious frowns as I stalk back into the living room with Sienna in tow. Shaking my head, I pull her down on the sofa with me. Fuck if I know. Damn it, Colin, let me go. In a minute, Wildcat. Glancing over her shoulder, I watch as Colin drags Autumn into the living room, hissing and spitting. Derek comes trailing lazily behind, a Cheshire grin on his face. Sienna peeks up at me wryly, and I roll my eyes. What the hell ever made me think our drama was the center of the universe? Sit! Colin barks, glaring at Autumn until she sinks on the couch beside Sienna, arms crossed stubbornly over her chest. Turning his laser stare on Sienna next, he narrows his eyes. All right, brat, spill it. Gulping at his tone, she starts squirming. I don't blame her one damn bit. That razor-sharp edge of alpha dominance is enough to get me riled up too. And this man is Sin's cousin. Same intense combustible genetics. I risk a look at my crotch, snickering at the outline of my dick, twitching with interest in my jeans. I nudge Sienna in the side and follow my gaze. Her eyes widening. At least we know my dick still works. At least we know my dick still works. She giggles under her breath at my cheeky observation, fake coughing loudly when Colin glares. Immediately, we both sit up straight and paste innocent smiles on our faces. I catch Hunter staring at me in disbelief and shrug. You'll see, Reaper, when Daddy talks, you damn well better listen. Oh, knock him the fuck out. Amused by his grumbling observation, I can't help but frown when he looks away apprehensively. The poor son of a bitch really doesn't have a clue, does he? Meeting Colin and then Autumn has slowly awakened a power inside of him that's laying dormant all his life. Now that it can't be imprisoned any longer, Hunt is left struggling to understand the man he's becoming. I don't know how or why he's been unaware of his heritage up till now, but he's going to have to learn fast that there's no ignoring it anymore, especially since I have a feeling Colin's done playing nice. I almost feel sorry for Hunt and Autumn. Almost. I'm pretty sure they won't hate Daddy Colin's methods of punishment. I can't deal with this shit sober. Here comes my favorite part, y'all. I love Dylan. Oh my gosh. This is why Derek and Dylan are my favorites. I can't deal with this shit sober, Dylan grunts, lumbering to his feet. I need a fucking drink. Not unless you want my fist up your ass, Derek comments offhandedly. Fuck you, Wolf. I'll see your fist and raise you a cock cage. Damn, you are hurting, Derek chuckles. That's a deal, sexy. The calculating glitter in his gray eyes is unnerving, even for me. Dylan just flips him off, disappearing down the hall to the kitchen, muttering under his breath the whole way. What the hell am I missing? Hunt snorts, then remarks, he must really need that drink. He must really need that drink. I stare at him in bemusement. They aren't exactly quiet, he explains. Dylan's been drinking even more than he did in the service. Apparently, Derek's working on curing him of that. At Derek's say another one of those big words, grin, I burst out into laughter. Jesus, Dylan drank like a fish back then. I can only imagine how bad it must be now for Derek to pull out the sadist card. As she drinks her vodka lemonade. Colin closes his eyes, and I can see him silently counting to 20. Focus now. Facts. Yesterday. Talking. Start. Santa rubs my thigh. You'll hurt them, Colin. I think maybe it's best if you don't know. Is that so? Nodding reluctantly, she relaxes into my palm, stroking her hair. Look, I'm serious. Even if they deserve it, I don't want you to hurt them. Colin studies her for a second, then grins. So, Sin really does tell you everything, and here I thought he was full of shit. Sienna's answering grin is condescending. That man is many things, but full of shit isn't one of them. Laughing out loud at that, he throws her an admiring salute. Pinching at the bridge of my nose, thoroughly fucking confused now, I'm grateful when Hunt takes the initiative. What are we missing here? Autumn rolls her eyes. Yeah, you men all right, she mutters. Yeah, You're men, all right, she mutters, fighting laughter. Clueless. Hunt bares his teeth in a snarling smile, his bright sapphire eyes rolling with equal parts mockery and longing. She gives that shit right back, her own eyes snapping. For fuck's sake, and I thought we were clueless in the beginning. Those two are so in love with each other, it's a wonder they weren't shitting unicorns and pissing rainbows. Smirking, Autumn leans back indolently. In a nutshell, Colin taught Sin everything he knows. My jaw drops. No way. I breathe. Colin is older. Hunt comments, studying him intently. It would make sense. There's no way. You're not that brutal, lawless, or maybe barbaric is a better word. Colin offers helpfully. I nod dumbly. Nick, think about it. I didn't move over here for good until I was 33. What do you think I was doing that entire time? Chasing hot studs and skirts? I can tell my smart-ass comment startles him, but Colin's got a wicked sense of humor and rolls with it. That's what the weekends were for, he quips sardonically. In your entire military career, there was only one failure, one target in your sights that you and Ryan couldn't eliminate. Sure, I agree. Bishop. We came close, but the son of a bitch was good. Yeah, sure is. Something in his tone and word choice makes me look twice. I blanch. You? Derek snorts. You seriously didn't know? Jesus, how did you call yourself a genius? Shaking my head, I feel sick to my stomach. Ryan and I had you in our sights, I said, ready to puke. Yep, Dylan comments, walking back in the room with a bottle of Grey Goose in hand. Ever wonder why neither of you could pull the trigger? Christ, it's too much to process. Slumping back into the couch, I close my eyes. I think back on that mission, how at the last minute Sin screamed for us to all stand down. Christ, I could have killed Colin. No, Nick, you wouldn't have killed me, Colin assures me. Sin controls emotions. I control actions. It's what made me so dangerous. You were never going to pull that trigger. I nod weakly. Okay, and thank fucking God for that. Looking as shell-shocked as me, Sienna sighs. Promise me you won't hurt them, Colin, and I'll tell you everything. Sorry, darling, but you're going to tell me everything anyway, he says regretfully. So if my cousin needs his ass kicked, you can bet your sweet ass I'll be the first in line. Autumn blinks at that. Why would you do that? Because if Sienna actually left Sin, Colin says firmly, then she had to have had a damn good reason. Oh, okay. I guess I can respect that. Gee, thanks. He seizes lightly. Autumn blushes and looks away. Watching the play of emotions chase across her face is bittersweet. Looking into the past and seeing a reflection of Sienna as she was when she came to us. Lost, broken, desperately in need of someone to love and protect her. So you'll hurt them, Sienna says to herself, even as much as I hate them right now. That freaks me the fuck out. Dawn, no, I breathe. Why would you say something like that? Lifting her head, she meets my gaze, her eyes shimmering with stubbornness. Nick, I'm pregnant. You're what? I hiss, my eyes wide. How? Squirming, she mutters. I stopped taking the pill. I didn't say anything about it. Oh, fuck. Dylan growls, spitting on his heel and racing for the kitchen again. My guess is he's in search of something even stronger than vodka. I'm all for that. Tell me you have Johnny, I call out desperately. He throws me a jerky thumbs up. Blue? God, yes. Coming up. I had to, Sienna huffs out in exasperation. In front of us, Derek's jaws drop. The poor man looks bewildered. Colin and Hunter are wearing identical expressions of holy shit. Even Autumn's appearing a little paler than normal. Yeah, we all know Sin and Ryan's feelings on that matter well. I imagine they're not too happy. Colin murmurs neutrally. I wince. That's probably the understatement of the century. What do you plan on doing? I'm not having an abortion, Sienna hisses. I frown. What the fuck? No one suggested you should. Dylan returns with a glitter of Johnny, with a liter of Johnny, and I snatch it from him, tipping the bottle back quickly. I guzzle the overpriced shit until my lungs are flooded and I'm gagging from lack of air. Dylan starts to rip into me and reaches out to grab the bottle back. I glare ferociously and snap my teeth, fully willing to chew his arm off if he comes within reach. Over my cold, dead body, throwing up his hands, he backs away. Yeah, you probably need it more, he mutters. Oh, you fucking think? Sin and Ryan did, Sienna whispers morosely. Reaching over, Autumn clasps her hand. They want me to kill our baby, Nick. How can I ever forgive that? Fuck, that's a good question. This is a new low, even for them. People do and say really fucked up things when they're scared, I reason. We love you and we're terrified of losing you. Sin must be going crazy. The baby's not his, Nick. It's yours. Blinking rapidly, the blood draining from my face, I stare at her. I could swear I just heard, the fuck you say? I don't know who's more surprised, me or Sienna, by my insolent response, and I'm a genius. Ha, not on this planet, I'm not. Sienna giggles, then grabs my hand and places it on her belly. Our baby, Nick, your miracle. I'm sterile, doll. You know this. I can't have kids. Explain that to the bun in my oven, she snorts. But, Sin, it happened the night before your birthday, just before you left, remember? After weeks of no future, little appetite, and a depleted sex drive, I feel my cock punch up against my jeans instantly at the thought. Do I fucking remember? That night is the only thing that's kept my sick ass sane, reminded me of the man I used to be before my diagnosis. Sin in her ass. Me pile driving her sweet pussy while Ryan drilled my ass, coming inside of her over and over and over, determined to leave her with a million memories. And so much more, evidently. I began to shake violently. Just when I'd given up all hope. I'm really going to have to suck up my shit and fucking fight, aren't I? Well, whether we return to Sin and Ryan, and given that what the bastards have demanded of her isn't likely, is irrelevant. Sienna needs me more than ever, and so does our daughter. Jesus Christ, I'm going to be a father. After a lifetime of believing it wasn't possible, I look up and catch Hunt staring at me with a suspicious gleam in his eyes. I start to think back on all the missions we did together. How once everyone fell asleep, we'd sit up for hours just shooting the shit, talking about everything and nothing at all. A repeat foster reject, Hunt spent his life hopping from one disposable home to the next, never finding his family. Not until he signed up to become the Legion's handler. Compared to Hunt, I always felt like a tool for my woe is me attitude toward my sterility, which apparently isn't as cut and dried as I was led to believe. You see, there's no reason to doubt Sienna. If she says the baby's mine, then that's the surety I can take to the bank. A miracle when I was beginning to think they don't exist. Can happen. Can another happen? Is it possible I can fight this and win? Reaching out tentatively, I cup her cheek. Are you sure? I have to ask. Sienna nods gently. Hope needs you, Nick. Fuck. I mutter, every cell in my body suddenly torquing and rewiring. All my life, I've had visions of a beautiful baby girl, one with gorgeous white curls, curious blue eyes, and a reckless hunger for life. As a boy and later as a man, I used to resent this vision tormenting me. Why me? What did I do to deserve such mocking cruelty? Then I stopped looking at Sienna like a sister and fell in love, and the pain threatened to devour me. A few weeks after she moved in with us, I confessed my agony to her. She looked gutted, but rather than avoid the subject, she made me face it. She forced me to dream, despite the improbable odds. Anytime I felt myself sinking back into the darkness of loss and self pity, she reminded me that nothing is impossible when people love each other as much as the four of us do. Tears well up in my eyes as I press my palm against Sienna's belly, and the priceless treasure she carries inside of her. The wondrous merging of all of our families in one little girl. Hope Ryan Santiago. God damn it, Sienna. Damn it, Sienna. I'm fucking giving up. At my admission, she whispers, "You can't, Nick. We need you." "You'll damn well have me," I promise her fiercely. "It's going to be a hell of a night, and at this point, I don't know if I've waited long. I've waited too long." At the mention of my condition, she starts sobbing. "I'm so sorry for not saying something sooner. It's all my fault." Poor Autumn jumps at Sienna's outburst, looking helplessly in the face of her older sister's tears. Shit, that makes two of us. Bada boom, bada bing! Go buy it. Nina, tell them where, how much. I know it's free on KU, on Amazon. Vincy and Nina. All right, ladies, I'm done. Everyone have a great night. You got some extra tonight. $2.99. See, go get it. Go get it, y'all. You need the whole series. You can't start with just number 3, though. You got to go from number 1 and then 2 and then 3. Otherwise, it don't make a lot of sense any more than what I just read does. It's just a teaser. All righty. Everybody have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Happy reading.